The spring of the year 1539, a tall black man lay mortally wounded by Zuni arrows in the village of Hawiku, in what is today New Mexico. If he prayed in his last breaths, he assuredly addressed God as Allah. How did a Muslim come to visit and die in New Mexico in the early 16th century? Azemmour, a 30-year occupation garrisoned by the Portuguese, was the birthplace of a young man, Mustapha Zemmouri. As a child, he may have heard rumors and stories of adventure from Portuguese sailors prior to his circumnavigation of the globe. In 1521, drought and famine ravaged the Maghreb. Fish, once so plentiful, virtually disappeared from the shrinking Amarbia River, while the fertile Dakala plains surrounding Azemmour became parched and barren. Many starving Zemmouris were captured by the Portuguese and sold into slavery. Others sold themselves to the Portuguese in exchange for food. The exact circumstances of Azemmouri's enslavement remain a mystery. A Spanish aristocrat of modest means, Andres de Dorantes, looking for a personal servant, purchased Mustapha in a slave market of Castile. In 1527, Dorantes' royal connections won him a commission and orders to join the expeditionary force of Pamphilo de Narvaez, a one-eyed, red-haired veteran of the conquests of Cuba and New Mexico, who was already infamous for his cruelty towards the people of the Americas. The expedition's departure from Spain set sail in June 17, 1527, in 5 caravels under the lead of Narvaez and his crew of 600 in one of the most disastrous sea voyages in the annals of Spanish history. The Atlantic crossing proved so deadly that 140 men jumped ship upon reaching the Caribbean island of Hispaniola. Soon afterwards, 60 people and 20 horses perished in a hurricane off the coast of Trinidad. The Spaniards finally dropped anchor off the La Florida coast on April 12, 1528, somewhere near today's Old Tampa Bay. Narvaez took formal possession of La Florida on May the 1st of that same year. He then decided to send the ships and 100 of his men ahead to their final destination on the Mexico Gulf coast, while he led the rest of his force there overland, a journey whose lengths he apparently underestimated. Narvaez, Dorantes, Cabeza de Vaca, Mustapha Zemmouri and the rest of the expedition headed north to the province of Apalachee, near the present city of Tallahassee, where, according to captured Timucuan Indians, there were great quantities of gold. To their disappointment, the Spaniards found instead 15 Indian huts and a few meager plots of maize. The ensuing weeks were fraught with fever, drownings and Indian attacks. To ward off starvation, some of the men resorted to eating their horses. Only the threat of mutiny persuaded Narvaez to abandon the march on August the 4th. He gave orders to return to the coast. There he and his men built 5 small boats. When they set sail, they had lost more than 40 more of their number to illness and starvation, not counting those killed by Indians. Only 1 horse remained. The meager rations of raw corn were soon depleted. Yet Mustapha and his companions clung to life. At the mercy of capricious winds, they drifted westward along the Gulf coast, coming ashore periodically to forage for food and replenish the water supply. The water bags made of hide rotted within a few days, and the man who attempted to drink seawater died in agony. In this manner they covered more than 1,500 kilometers in just over 40 days. At the mouth of the Mississippi, strong currents pushed two of the boats, including the one piloted by Narvaez, out to sea. They were never seen again. Relief came to the other on November the 6th, when, according to Cabeza de Vaca, a great wave took them and cast the boat out of the water as far as a horseshoe can be tossed. They were on the island of Malado, near northern-day Galveston Island, Texas. The Indians inhabiting the island, while friendly at first, quickly turned against the expedition. Once at Galveston, Texas, they began their 8-year journey to find a Spanish settlement back in present-day Mexico. Estebanico guided the last of 3 fellow survivors through Texas and northern Mexico as a free man, while adopting traditions of the Native American tribes they encountered. 15 of the survivors, including Cabeza de Vaca, Castillo, Dorantes, and Mustapha, were enslaved and dispersed among several local tribes, an ironic twist for the already enslaved Zemmouri. The Indians, in awe of their prisoners' mental and physical fortitude, ordered them to act as medicine man during an epidemic of dysentery on the sick person and cast out the illness with their breath and their hands. After being located by Spanish authorities, Estebanico and his surviving party were taken to Mexico City, where authorities persuaded him to help lead another expedition into Arizona and New Mexico in search of cities made of gold. Historians believe Estebanico agreed to join the expedition to escape a life of slavery that awaited him in Mexico City or back in Spain. During his second expedition, Estebanico was killed at Zuni Pueblo, either in confusion or because he angered leaders with his mistreatment of Zuni women.